Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the series COVID and Coffee Morning Check-In. You may have seen, I guess, on that thumbnail, it's my version, I guess, of no prep drag racing. So my son and his daughter stopped by. You know, we did the distance thing, kind of, sort of. They're safe, but unfortunately, right now, oddly, people just can't be let in the house just because, you know what I mean? Amped, what's going on, guy? See you later, man. Pop in, pop out. But the reason why I'm calling it my version of no prep is just because, well, literally, he brought his car, I grabbed my car, we charged a couple of batteries. Well, maybe there was a little bit of prep, but no prep, like as far as like knowing anything. We have never drag raced these cars together, and when you see the video, we had a blast. Like even the collisions that we had, because you know we were on a road and then learning how to like maybe you take this side of the road and I'll take that side of the road instead of being like side by side and thinking that you're just going to take off on a straight launch. Yeah. Just doesn't work. And I'm on my no prep drag racing. Unbeknownst to him, I'll say it that way, I proved a point in this particular drag racing that we did. So I have a little bit more experience, and when I say a little bit more experience, I have more experience than he does, obviously, in just, you know, remote control cars. But it's not like it takes a lot to learn how to drive the cars, you know, like we were doing. I mean, yes, you do need throttle control. You do need to go easy with your steering. Probably turning steering rate down probably would have helped in some of the situations because we both were overdriving the steering. And I mean, like I said, when you see the footage, I almost wish like I had a secondary or a third person with a camera that was like further down the line that could have like, you know, filmed it that way, because the crashes were, I think, what you call, I'll say it this way, quite epic. And I feel, unfortunately, because of where we were both standing, and obviously I was operating the cameras, I had the GoPro on my head, like I usually do, because obviously so I could track the cars, but then I had, you know, the remote on the thing here. You know, I had this setup right here. And I have a hard time when I'm focusing on the driving. I have a hard time focusing on the camera, you know, aspect of it, of trying to actually follow the car, because in order to follow the car and make sure it's like in frame, especially on something like this that doesn't give that GoPro wider distance, things end up being out of shot. There were a couple of times when I started it off good, but then I stopped because my head is tracking the car, and I should have been tracking it with this. Because with this, with the phone, surprisingly, the footage is somewhat better than the GoPro. It's odd. It's odd how sometimes GoPro is better than the footage that's on this camera right here, which is a Note 8. I'm actually going to turn this around because I got it faced the wrong way, so I'm going to switch this. I'm going to spin you guys around. Hopefully I've got the better camera going right now, and obviously learning how to frame the shots. But where was I? So having the two cameras is always a benefit, because if one craps out, then you have like the footage from the other one. It's just, you know, sometimes cutting and pasting and moving clips around just for a mild edit, so that the footage is actually watchable. But anyways, I guess the whole point of this was even my wife was watching from our second story bedroom window. She could see it, and her comments were, it looked fun. So that right there, that's telling me something. That's telling me that get her involved in some drag racing. And because my road is fairly good, I think, for it. Like as far as like the distance that you would need on maybe like a scale quarter mile type of deal or eighth mile, however you want to do it. Obviously, the only thing that I don't have is I don't have a way to, at the finish line, to see who won other than taking a GoPro and sticking it right at the finish line. And that's a way to, I guess, catch who actually won right at the finish line. And if I have the GoPro at a high enough frame rate, I can slow it down so you can literally see. I'm telling you, like, there's this video out there where I think I'm not sure what type of a drag race it was, but it was a drag race. And it's got a Mustang and another car. I can't remember for the life of me what the other car was. The other car may have been like a 55, 56, or 57 Chevy racing against a Fox Body. I think Fox Body. I can't remember Mustang. And literally, you see the other car in lane 1 or lane 2, depending upon how you're looking at it, blow by, right? And this is all in slow-mo. So you see the car blow by, so you know that car won. And literally, the Mustang is going by the camera like this. And because of where I had placed, or we did that line at the mailbox, so we did a line at the mailbox. You'll see in the video. We did a line at the mailbox. We actually didn't do a line, but we were like, oh, at the mailbox, that's when we can let off, which of course we did, and we just kept it going. But it was literally a blast. And I think I've been wanting to get into drag cars, and granted, it is my version. Sorry, I'm not some RC pro scale driver, drag racer, whatever. It's going to be my version of no prep drag racing. And yeah, my son had a blast, knowing that my wife was like, you know, she's like, actually look pretty fun. So it's like, it's almost like giving you the double thumbs up on some drag racing. So maybe we could get some drag racing going, like her Max against my Kaiju, 3S to 3S, 4S to 4S. Obviously, 6S is out of the question, and even 4S might be a little bit too much. And I know both vehicles can run on 3S. I feel like the Max actually drives on 3S better than the Kaiju. So, did I say Kaiju? Or did I say something else? I don't even know. But the Traxxas Max against the Kaiju. But I want to do road cars. And I've got, obviously, you know, I've got a couple of road cars. But what was cool was both of us, my son and I, had we had the same car effectively. The only thing that's not stock, let's say about his car, is the battery connector, and that's you can't even count that. So it had a Dean's connector, which I hate. So oh no, I'm sorry. It had the Redcat bullet connector. I snipped that off. We soldered on an XT60 because that's all that car needs. It doesn't need like an XT90 or a XT500. It's not that kind of power. So an XT60s that we put on there, and it goes to show you that maybe a slightly skilled driver, so you got a slightly skilled driver with more power, does not necessarily mean you're going to win the race. And this video will point blank show you. It is literally about throttle control. Obviously, your car makes a difference too. I think I had some previously existing issues that helped my car have some crashes, which you'll see. Like I said, you'll see it in the video, but what this video is about is the aftermath. So my car obviously suffered more damage because inevitably I was faster, but I was also more out of control. I was a heavier car. And I think, did I say faster? So faster, heavier, more power equaled more destruction. So I'm going to show you what happened to my car. But anyways, everybody, good morning. COVID and coffee, morning check-in. Let's just get into this. Hopefully that was like a good intro. Redcat Racing. Oh, it's Gus here. Amped guy. Gus is here. What's going on, guy? Good morning, Riff Raff. Sorry, it's like when I'm talking, I obviously can't see nothing. I'm going to set up my iPad like I usually do here. I can only set up the iPad after the fact. I'm not sure why. And also, these remotes, I mean, they're okay. They take the, 500 batteries that you got to stick in here. And what's crazy is this morning when I got this, so this was downstairs. So this morning when I got this is how I found it. I had literally left it on the entire night. I forgot to shut it off. I think, I know why I forgot to shut it off, because I was having a blast. And then we went right into fixing my son's car because he ended up with a little bit of damage. Has nothing to do with the drag racing we did. Well, maybe it has to do with my car being like a Mustang. Like, you have to know. Like, I have no hate on any vehicle. If you like Honda, if you like Toyota, if you like Ford, if you like Chevy, Dodge, doesn't matter. I love them all. If you like Tesla, I love them all. But yeah, my car was acting like a crowd clearing, like, yeah, Mustang. Like, you had to have seen the videos on YouTube. Like, every time they have like what do they call it? Cars and Coffee, or Coffee and Cars, or whatever. Whenever they have like car shows and stuff, you got like the Mustangs, and maybe because there's more of them, you got the Mustangs coming like out, and of course they want to show off, and they do a burnout coming out, and they literally just clear the sidewalks of people because, well, yeah, that's kind of what my car was doing. Only doing it to his car, like totally, like not on purpose. I think he thought I was doing it on purpose, but I wasn't. My car was just totally out of control. All right, where are we here? I gotta see it. Go into library. But this is my little beast right here. And I don't know if anybody's noticing anything. Gus might be able to notice something about my car. If Gus is still here, Gus might be able to see something about my car that might look a little familiar, or should I say, what's out of place in this picture. I kind of focused in on it right now, but I'm gonna go over to my my thing here, see if I can find my own, whatever it is, COVID and Coffee. There we go. It wasn't too bad of a picture, right? No prep drag race aftermath, COVID and Coffee. All right, what do we got here? Oh, we got an ad. Nice. Nothing wrong with these ads, right? Like I said, make sure you watch those ads, because it gives me like a couple pennies. Like, literally, it gives me pennies. Like, I think it gives me like 1/10 of a penny watching these ads. So don't forget, you're not going to miss anything if you watch an ad or two. And hey, go ahead and maybe click on an ad. Especially if it's like, what is it, the Black Rifle Company? That was actually pretty cool. All right, let's skip that ad. Come on, skip. There we go. Nice. Getting the ad loop. So who is here for this morning? Who is first? That's what I want to know. Avengi RC. Holy smokes. How do you say that name? Dresgalovo. Wow, you were first. RC Masters second. Amped RC is third. Popping right in, popping out. What's going on, guy? Demo RC is here. Full Throttle RC. What's going on, man? I don't think I've ever seen you here before. We got Gus's Custom Creations. We've got Chef Beardsley is here. Life of Coach. What's going on, guy? Trash Ninja. Guy, have you been sick with the COVID or what? I haven't seen you. Good to have you here, man. Barbecue. I think I already said that. Let's see. Who else is here? If you haven't checked in, check in, man. James George is here. What's going on, guy? It's COVID and tea for you, right? You ran out of coffee? Oh, no. It's like people running out of toilet paper. But I'm wondering, does anybody see anything that's like maybe like does not belong in the picture? I think I haven't got to it yet, but James Beeman, what's going on, guy? Jerry VRC, what's going on? Good morning to you as well. Hope I'm not too loud. I'm just amped. Vince Vargas, what's going on, guy? You didn't miss anything, brother. Oh, man. Let's see. What do we got here? Oh, look at that. Gus's Customs got it. Oh, look at that. He's like, Kaiju bumper. So yeah, we've got my Kaiju. Yeah, I'll say within my son's hands, and hopefully he's watching. I don't know if he's watching or not, but yeah, but it was expected. And Gus, I'm gonna do the WD-40 treatment on the next one. Other than that, I want T-Bone to make a bumper for the Kaiju. I think that would actually be pretty good. As a matter of fact, Gus, didn't you make your own custom bumper? I think you did. I think I'm remembering right that you made your own custom bumper out of your Delrin, right? Didn't you? I think you did. Maybe I'm wrong. I also want to talk about my experience too with my repair on the Redcat Kaiju, switching it over to the aluminum top race. While it's fine, obviously my poor or bad driving, I'm constantly obviously rebending it because aluminum, when it bends, it just bends, just like any metal would. It's not necessarily going to bend back on its own, where plastics can have a tendency to bend back on its own. So that is the only fault that I see with that design, but it's not a fault because at least it's bending. So when I take my horrible crashes like I do, or like my son did, which was awesome actually. I got 3 videos that I've got to do now. We're going to do is it 3 or is it 4? It's either 3 or 4 videos. I got to do an update on the Habao SS cage truggy. Going to do an update on that. I got obviously my version of no prep drag racing, and that's with 2 Redcat Racing Tornadoes head to head, side by side. My vehicle had a power advantage and a heavier weight advantage, which you would think would give more traction, but wait till you see the outcome. Then we also have more footage on the Kaiju. So 3 videos coming out. My version of no prep drag, Kaiju video of just pretty much just smashing it, and speed test. How about I'm just gonna call it a no speed test. That's literally what I'm going to call from now on. I'm going to call my Kaiju speed test the no speed test. Anyways, and then obviously the SS Truggy from Habao. Got some, running on that. Obviously, if people saw, they know that I did break it, but you don't know how. So if you're interested in seeing why or how it broke, I mean, I did explain it, but sometimes the video does it a little bit better justice than just my mouth. So we're going to crack this open. And where was I? I was talking about the Kaiju metal thing. So the plastic definitely is better. The fact that the metal is bending is actually a good thing because it's still holding together, okay? It's not breaking. It's just, that, obviously when you swap out a battery, if you've had some good crashes, that you're probably just going to have to bend those tabs back up. And maybe eventually after like the 100th time of rebending that metal back up, maybe it will, because every time you bend it, you're stressing it. Maybe they'll break off, but even then, it's still a good repair. It's just, that's kind of like my update about, it's just, that's how it's going to work. So anyways, let's show you the damage. Let's show you the damage on this poor little Redcat Tornado that, I'm telling you, you got to watch the video. I'm hoping to put together a good video about it. It's both my son and I, we had a blast. It was fun. And that's where maybe if you guys see this video and you don't drag race, maybe you will. Like it was a blast. Trying to stay straight, trying to keep that power down to the ground. It's insane. I had such a good time with it. Like even like how I talk about crawling. I'm not a crawler guy, but don't get that, don't get it confused. I like crawling. I think for me personally, I'm more hack and thrash. I just to accomplish being able to crawl over something without tipping over is more of like, it's more of like what I like, but that's what I like. I can't get into the whole scale thing because I guess I just don't have the capacity for it. So let's see, what's this looking like? All right, it actually looks good though on there, huh? Doesn't that bumper? It looks pretty sweet. So I might see if I can take this kaiju bumper and maybe adapt it to my buggy because it definitely gives it a nice look. I mean, look at that. This buggy would actually look sick with this thing on here. You know? And if I have it lit up and everything, I don't know. So anyways, we'll get that out of the way. I'm going to pop off the top here, show you what's going on. Now on mine's a fake flip top. So I only have one body pin that holds on my entire body because on the back side, what I did is I shoved the wing. I cut a hole where the engine compartment is. I think it was actually where the vents were. I cut a hole in the back and basically just shoved the wing, through. So what it does is it kind of makes it a flip top, like a dragster. So you almost need like a bar to hold up your top. So that's this is my version, I guess, of a dragster. And it's not really applying any force to the back of the body because the plastic or the Lexan, whatever this body is made out of, it actually articulates down. So this was literally the perfect setup for this car. Now it makes working on it a little bit difficult, but that's where I'm okay with that. The body that I put on this, is awesome. I like the way it trimmed out. I like the graphic look of it. Still had some dents in it. It's actually a very resilient body that I think I only got for I think I paid $20, or it was pretty cheap. Might even been $18 for this body. Definitely well worth it. Especially if you don't care about just cutting the crap out of it and making it fit, and that's what I did. So anyways, it does have that lift top like a dragster. Maybe I should put a little prop rod in here so you can actually do this. But what he didn't know, and I purposely didn't tell him, and it was a test, it was power, skill / weight ratio. Now, the battery that I'm pulling out of here, yes, and check it out. This is one of my ZOP packs. Now, when I flip this over, you're going to see this is not my no void ZOP pack. So while I call these little Chernobyl packs, it's because in my experience they are. For me, it's a 50-50 shot. I've been through about 12 of these batteries, and for me, having 12 batteries and having, is it 5 or 6 of them? I call it 50-50. I can't remember if it's 5 or 6. 5 or 6 of my batteries were junk. So this is one of my good ZOP Power batteries that I did use, and this is a 3S pack. It's a 5,000 milliamp and it's a 60C discharge. So I'll call this one of my good ZOP pop packs, because if it's ZOP, it's gonna pop. But this is actually holding out pretty good. So I'm not 100% against ZOP. It's just they're little Chernobyl nuclear devices right here. I mean, it's a 50-50 shot. Anytime you run one of these packs, is it going to catch on fire? You know what I mean? I mean, I'm just kidding, but yeah, I'm not. So anyways, hey, Colby, what's going on, buddy? What you doing, Colby? What you doing, buddy? Hey, you, what you doing? Run away, huh? Run away! I need some coffee. But anyways, all right, I'm just going to get to the comments real quick. Your kaiju is coming tomorrow. Nice. Due to the COVID-19 shipping issues, right?
You want more?
Yes, please. Did you hear that? She's awesome. You really are, honey. Thank you. Kyosho Turbo Scorpion is done. Oh, hey. I don't know if you know George Silman, but I don't know. He might even be here. I'm not sure. But George Silman put together a Turbo Scorpion, and He was doing his jumps with it, and he had a little bit of an issue. So if you're part of that Facebook website or Facebook group, the RC Guy Garage Facebook group, you'll be able to catch some of George's slow-mos, and he shows the aftermath of his abuse to the Turbo Scorpion. He was point blank abusing it. So yeah, you'll see. If you're interested, join that group or check out George Silman on Facebook on that site. You'll see why. Get that little pop top right there. That actually looks pretty good. Trying to keep it in frame. Looks like it's in frame. It's my pop top dragster here. My no prep dragster. Let's see. And the Tomahawk too. Nice. Really, yeah, the retro kits are awesome, Gus. Right, absolutely. Yeah, they are cool. I really want the Beetle badly. Who's in the yard? I'm heading to it. All right, see you later, Chef. Good having you as always. You said that like half an hour ago. Not really, but close enough. Chazzy, or is that Chase? Clobertans? See you later, man. Unless you're saying bye to Chef. I don't even know. CBR Wicks, what's going on, guy? Haven't seen you in a while. I think I saw you last week. Just ordered the new Futaba. Nice. You won't be jumping. Good. Don't jump the Turbo Scorpion. It took it, but I definitely think he abused it a little bit more than it should have been. He's hard on his cars anyway. He does a lot of slow-mo jumps with it, which I like. I think his slow-mo jumps are actually pretty cool. I literally like hearing when he does his slow-mos, you can literally hear the gear mesh when he's jumping because he's that close to the jump when he does it. I don't know. RC Master, I'm not sure. Honey, when you were watching the drag racing with Matt and I, was that something that you liked?
Yeah, we raced before.
Right.
I was just saying, in general, it looked like it was interesting. Yeah, it looked like fun, but it also was interesting to Matthew.
Right. I think, but they're specifically asking about you, not Matthew. But I think, because somebody's asking, because when you drove the Max, what did you think about driving the Max versus maybe an interest in drag racing? Do you maybe, like, even though you didn't drag race, do you prefer, like, would you like to try drag racing at all?
I think I'd rather just drag race
than like drive off-road type of thing?
Yeah.
Wow. So there you go. There's your answer right there. She would actually like to drag race. Now, one thing that you guys don't know about her was when she was a kid, she used to draw F1 cars, like F1 racing cars. She used to draw them when she was a kid. So she actually has like that, I think she has that affinity for those types of cars, like going fast type of deal. We only went to New England Dragway as a family one time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody, the whole family went to we took them all to New England Dragway. That was a blast. If you've never been to real drag races like a New England Dragway, it's definitely someplace you got to go. I had been there obviously more than once. But yeah, anyways, let's get back to this. So, there's your answer right there. It seems like she would like to drag race more. So, that's actually pretty cool. Thank you, honey.
Turn it on me.
Thank you. I know. She doesn't want the camera on her. Look at that. My coffee right there. And is this the percolated coffee?
No.
Regular Starbucks Keurig?
No, it's that 8 o'clock dark Italian.
Well, you know what I meant.
Yeah, well,
Starbucks.
specifically what it is.
8 o'clock. This is the 8 o'clock dark. Yeah, no, I hear you, Trash Ninja. The only thing though is that the drag racing part of it needs to be so, and I think that's based upon our conversation this morning. That's the part that I feel that she liked about it, is she liked the fact that it was two people going. You know what I mean? Big Mac, what's going on, guy? Great way to start the week. What, with drag racing? No prep drag. This was a blast. These Redcat Tornadoes, for me, I very thoroughly enjoy having this thing on road. This is a good little on-road ripper. We did actually take these in the grass. They don't do very good, but there's a certain section of my lawn that really isn't lawn. And we took it over there and kind of, we did some stuff. We did what the name of this vehicle is called. Dio, what's going on, man? Look at the aux box for a coffee maker. Been using yours for the past 5 years. Aux box, I'll have to check that out, man. Earl has been wanting you to build a dragster sometime soon. Nice. Are you near him to where you and Earl can race? Got it for camping, but threw my Keurig in the garbage after it broke. Yeah. Eventually it'll break. We've got one of those kinds. That one over there. That's the Keurig. So it does the frothing right there. It's got the water tank on the side. And then obviously the main unit, right there. She's the one that picked that out. I actually like it. It's our first Keurig, so she got she got a good one, I guess. Because I like the frothed cream. The frothed cream is actually awesome. But I'm not a Starbucks person. I don't know. Just can't do it. Can't bring myself to go. I've been there twice. Well, maybe 3 times. I don't know. But that was because my wife.
It's a mental stigma, I guess.
Be quiet, you. It's a mental stigma. She's right. That's my daughter, Sam. I won't put her in camera either. These girls, I don't know what's up with them. They have like this thing about not wanting to be on camera. It's like, oh, it's like I don't know. I think it's funny. Nobody wants to be on camera. It's not because they're shy. Anyway, you're in Kentucky? He has you wanting one. I know. Dude, that primal one, Earl just point blank, he killed me. He didn't even say how much he got it for yet. At least I don't think I saw that. I watch all of Earl's videos anyway. But I don't remember him saying anything about how much he got it for. And I thought he was going to say he was going to tell us. Because he was basically saying, you don't want to know what I got it for. And I point blank said to him, no, I don't want to know what you got it for. A Nova or Camaro body, right? Big Mac, I hate you. Are you kidding me? $700 for that thing? I'm just going to stare at the camera and just blink my eyes. Oh my goodness. Now that's a price right there. Now not everybody has $700, but Earl does. That is awesome. Holy moly. Oh my God, that's insane. It's that thing where sometimes, man, you just like what he knew. Sometimes you just have to jump at a deal because that deal will never come back. Gus, see you later, man. Thank you for coming as always. Yeah, but my daughter is not into all the selfie garbage either, though. She's not really into social media type stuff. She actually does have a YouTube thing, but she's not on it like, I mean, yeah, of course she's my daughter, so I'm gonna say she's pretty, but not only because she's my daughter, but she is pretty. But it's just, yeah, it's for her, like just something that she's doing, and I think she's really enjoying it. She's having a good time. She's better than I am at this.
Yeah, right.
You are.
Yeah,
you don't
right.
get it. What I see and how you edit amazing compared to what I do.
I didn't know how to put music in a video.
It doesn't matter. When you finally figured stuff out, you cut things very well. All right, so let's get I kind of want to get into this just to show you what happened. So it might be a little difficult with this body on, but you can, maybe if I can position it in the right way. So you see, as I rotate this wheel, do you see anything that maybe doesn't belong? Got a slight little issue on this left side of the car. And like I said, when you see the footage, you'll understand why all my damage is on the left side of my car. Now here's the back side. Okay, here's the back. See if I can. I'm got a wicked delay. See if you can see anything that's wrong on this side of the car. I mean, look at that. It is literally so bad, it's getting stuck on the shock. So all of the damage is on my left side of my car because I took the right lane. And taking the right lane, the damage is going to be on the left side of your car. Anyways, yeah, like I said, when you see the videos, hopefully maybe I can zoom in a little bit, put it on some slow-mo. Had some pretty good crashes that I literally wish I was like right there for, because to see the crashes that this thing went through and to realize, like, honestly, how little damage there actually is. So we're going to take this thing apart and see if we can figure out, or see if I can show you like what kind of damage that we actually have. The dog bones obviously are bent on the left side of my car, so both front and rear dog bones are bent. So when it got to the point of me driving, at one point, I think the last drag race we did, I realized that I had better stop now, because my car point blank became like, if I was going to name this car would now be called the shake machine. So those dog bones are so bent, it's actually causing the hub to do this. So, and then obviously, if it's just doing this at a slow speed, imagine what this car is like at a high rate of speed. So last drag race we did, I just bailed out because I didn't want to inflict any more damage on the car than I already knew that was. But that also didn't stop me from pretty much almost expending the rest of this battery. So I'm going to just see what we've got left for juice. So this battery was fully charged. The cells, again, just like a Zop Power battery, they did not balance out 100%. But I just want to plug this in on camera here, just to show you what the battery is down to. So we're down to 53%. So 3.8, or technically almost 3.9, 3.9. But now so that shows you right here, okay? This Zop Power pack is actually one of the good ones. So for me, this is one of my 50% packs, meaning it's out of the 12 packs I've had or whatever, 5 or 6 of them were junk, and I still have some good packs. So anyways, yeah. So this actually discharged almost perfectly through all the racing and ripping that we did. So we stopped driving because his car technically ended up with a little bit more damage than mine, only because he could no longer drive. Mine could actually still drive, and I still end up driving it, and you'll see. You'll see what I put come on. If any of you guys like have seen my videos, you know what I put my cars through. I mean, I'm not airing it out over like a 3-story building, but I'm also not 100% kind to my vehicles, and they love every minute of it. So, or second, just like Big Black. Big Black loves the abuse that I give that truck. That truck is still, like, right now going strong. I could go outside right now and do a burnout in the driveway. Like, this truck just loves every minute of his life like all my RC cars do. Well, yeah. Yeah, they do. Why not? All right. Guy, Earl, what's going on? Your ears must have been burning again. Earl's the Pearl. True boys, what's going on, guy? Bill Perry, what's going on, man? 5T Badgers here. What's going on, guy? Let's see. Who else is here? Not doing too bad in the stream. I mean, we're talking a Monday morning. We already got 22 people. I think time-wise for Earl. Cal's Arma RC Adventures. What's going on? I don't think I saw that you were here. Sorry about that, man. Anyways, so let's obviously take off that front side wheel. We'll check that out. We'll pop out the dog bone, or the whole assembly, and see if we can get this thing squared away. So the front wheel nuts on this thing are a 7mm box. Obviously, they're a nylock, so keep in mind, with the amount of times that I've taken these wheels on and off, the nylock itself is starting to let go. So I am going to, if I can get this dog bone straightened out, which I should, I am going to lock tight this nylock onto the axle shaft. I use my Zop Pop pack to keep the car up in the air. This Zop just hasn't popped. So as far as the wheel goes, the wheel itself is perfectly straight. And you can check that by taking it and putting it on, one of your devices and giving it a rotate, And you can pretty much see that I know you see it wobbling, but it is straight. Normally it works. I think it's getting stuck. It's getting stuck in there? Yeah, it is. But you can give it a rotate and give yourself at least an idea of whether if your wheel is straight or not. And I can tell just by how it's spinning on there that this wheel is actually fine. So we don't have any cracks on this. We do have a little bit of a scuff on the rim right there, but any of the 5 spokes are fine. Nothing's broken. Something like this, a wheel like this, don't be afraid to give it a check. On the back side of the wheel, it looks like we do have a little bit of a crack. So something like that we can address with a little bit of super glue. I'll put it on that crack right there, and that should take care of that. Now I want to pop this hub out, and because this is an older Redcat, they use a combination of Phillips and obviously metric. So the top and bottom of the hub are held in by Phillips screws. So I'll get a Phillips driver, and we'll pop this top screw out. Now this also has those little bushings that are in the top and bottom sections of that C-hub. I also want to take off this screw, which is where it's connected to the steering linkage. And that might be a Phillips on the bottom. I'm not sure. Or it might be a hex. And I'm missing one of my drivers. Where did my driver go? I thought I had both drivers here. Pretty sure I did. This one? Yeah, it's that one. So that bottom Could be a Phillips. Flip it over real quick. Oh, here's my other driver. It's holding up the body. So it looks like the bottom is not. It's just a ball end. So it's not held in like I was thinking. So it looks like I'm going to need to get some kind of like a little plier on there. So I'll get a plier on there just to hold the ball end. Just unscrew it. And again, these nylocks, they're getting to the point of where they're no longer nylocks. So I am going to, when I reassemble this, I am going to use thread lock on these nylock nuts. I can pop that out. Use a needle nose plier, just kind of wiggle it free. Pop that out. Now on this bottom side, two ways that I can do this. The best way, kind of keep things together because you actually don't need to take the C-hub out, is to flip it and get at the Phillips screw that's right on this side right here. So right on here, there's another Phillips screw. So I'll go after that one. Now these two Phillips screws are different. The bottom Phillips screw does not have a shoulder like this one does. See how that one has more of a flat shoulder? That's for the top. The bottom one does not. The bottom one is just a regular head Phillips screw. Now I'll flip it back. Now we can take out this whole hub unit and we can get at the dog bone because these aren't CVDs. This is just a dog bone. So I think you can see that there might be just a little bend in this thing that we'll have to take out. Now you can see them. I'm effectively keeping that flat, and this isn't the one that's bent the most either. I mean, this one's wasted, but I'll be able to straighten that back out, and it will rip again. Now, obviously these shafts, right? So if you do not get these shafts completely straight, they will at higher speeds create vibration. Vibration will start attacking your bearings. So wherever I guess the most weight is, where that centrifugal, it's called centrifugal weight, because obviously now it's slinging it around. So that centrifugal weight is going to be more towards the outside hub area. So it's going to be attacking the bearings that are on that. So not only is it attacking the bearings, but if your bearings are tight enough to actually the piece here, right, to the hub or the steering knuckle, you may actually end up wobbling out your bearing to the actual steering knuckle. So don't drive it like, once you start getting, like I called it the shake machine, once you start getting damage, unless you just want to buy parts, just stop, figure out what's going on, and then determine whether if you just want to keep going. I kind of determined I wanted to stop drag racing because that was where I was getting the most issue, but it didn't stop me from doing some grass drifting or weed drifting or whatever you want to call it, that both my son and I end up doing, and then eventually his car is the one that actually ended up failing. So this is also part of the maintenance of these vehicles. So now I've never maintenanced this vehicle one bit. So I've literally just drove it. Any piece that I bent, I just take it off, rebend it, and put it back in, and it just kept on ripping it. I've never taken a diff apart. I've never taken any of the bearings apart. I've never taken anything apart on this car. I've just ripped it and left it, and then charged up another battery and ripped it some more. It's just one of those vehicles that maybe if I pay a little bit more attention to, I could fine tune on my no prep, my version of no prep drag racing. So yeah, anyways, so that's the dog bone on that side. That's not junk, but It's hurting. So I'm going to keep those pieces aside. I forgot to turn the camera. Sorry about that. I'm going to keep those pieces aside because I know that side's, that side's with the issue. We'll come over to the back side. We'll do the same thing. I'm going to take the wheel off. 7mm box. We're using a Zot Pop as our stand. This wheel nut definitely came off a lot easier than the front. So I know 100% fact that the nylock on this is pretty much junk. So I'm going to end up using thread lock when I put it back together. I actually feel as though I'm starting to get... almost feel like I'm seeing a crack on the inside of this wheel. And that may be because this, when you see this dog bone, you may see why. I can't tell if it's a crack or not. I don't feel a crack, but I definitely see some kind of line in there. The spokes are fine. No breakage on the spokes. The inside of this wheel is not an issue. Again, all of my impacts were definitely on this wheel right here. 100%. All of my impacts were from my car just going like that. You gotta watch the video. Looks like we do have a nice digger on the wheel right there where if I could put a straight edge across the wheel right here on the lip of the rim, you can actually see that the plastic got compressed right there. So we have a very small compression fracture right here. So what I may end up doing is I may end up just trying to squeeze that together and maybe just put a light touch of very flowy or easy flowing super glue so that it gets in the crack and seals it up. Like I said, back side of the rim is fine. So this is all right. So both wheels suffered damage. So same thing on this one. There's a screw on the bottom right there. Which, is that a screw or is that... No, on this one it's different. What is that for? There is no screw on that bottom because it doesn't pivot. So this one has... Is it a Phillips? See, I don't even know. I haven't taken this apart. Or is it an E-clip? This actually might be an E-clip. Oh, looks like I'm missing an E-clip on the back too. So I've got an E-clip on that side and I'm missing an E-clip there. How is this held on? Is that literally just a pin pressed into place? What? Are you kidding me? Well, we won't need to actually take that off to flop it out anyway. So let's just take off this piece right here, which I think that is a hex, right? No, it's not. So that I'm actually going to have to, I have to find a wrench to get into there and take that off. So it doesn't feel like there's anything on that ball. It feels like it's a totally smooth ball. I'll get the real small thing. I just can't see. Yeah, that's a totally smooth ball, so that just screws in. So technically, I don't have to do that. I could just pop this off. So how about that? Let's do this the right way. And I take my pliers, put them in there, pop the ball off, if I can without breaking it, and then maybe not. I should be able to twist this ball right off. There we go. I just didn't want to break that. I guess it's all right. So now I'll be able to pop out this dog bone. And this is the one, this is the one that has maybe a little bit more of an issue. Now picture that. This thing kept driving. I mean, look how bent that thing is. That's like a 30-degree bend. Or maybe even close to a 45. Maybe it's like a 35-degree bend. Now that is a bend on that dog bone. Now, so here's the rear. Here's the front. So here's the front. This actually has two bends in it. You can see it. This one is actually bent at the ball end, and it's bent right there. This one literally just looks like it's just bent in one area, which is right there. And this thing kept on going. Like I said, not kidding when I was calling this thing a shake machine. This thing was shaking so bad when I was trying to go down the road. So I just gave up on the last race. I was just like, no, you got it. It's all you. All right, let's see. Go. No brand used dog bone. Rip it. Looks perfect to me. Yeah. That's why I'm having a blast with this thing. Can't find Max Hubs anywhere except China. Sergeant J, what's going on, man? Did I see that you were here? Forget. Right, just hammer that back out. I got a vise. I'm just going to put it in the vise, and I'm just going to make it as straight as I can. And then just rip it again. RC Master, your kids are going hyper on you. Your kids are going nuclear. I can tolerate an RC with issues much better than women with issues. Yeah, but you know what, though? It probably goes the same way. It probably goes a girl can tolerate an RC with issues than she can a guy with issues, right? Happens both ways, man. No, like that, just hammer it back. It will. Oh, yeah, I definitely am going to hammer that thing back. Why? Because I stuck it right here? I'm actually getting hot right now. I got to open up the slider. The slider. That's some fresh air in here. Maybe even let in a little extra light. That might help. Ah, so you can hear the birds chirping. Nice. Now, somebody had made the comment, Joe Daddy's Garage, I know you're not here right now, but somebody had made the comment, they were like, boy, it seems funny. It's like you're working on your countertop in your kitchen. And yes, thanks to my wife, she's letting me do this right now because things are a little bit miscombobulated in my downstairs area. I gotta take some time today and organize things because it's getting a little bit messy down there with things breaking and taking out so many cars, and I need to vacuum. I need to clean it up and get a little bit more organized. So I think I actually have to get another one of those racks to put cars on. But anyways, So, what is everybody up to? Vector messed up the workshop? No, it's just point blank me, Earl. Earl, if you... I suspect I know what kind of a clean person you are, in a sense. If you saw my garage, you would literally puke right now. I puke when I see my garage. And my garage is not a real garage. I have a 2-car under. That is not a garage. That is a garage for somebody that commutes to work and just has a place to put their Lexus or their BMW. My garage is really not a garage, and I'm trying to use it like it is one. The garages in my community, they were not built for, I want to say, like somebody like me. It's not a garage. Totally not a garage. Riff Raff, your garage is unusable at the moment. Makes you sick, sad to see all the stuff in the Trans Am. Dude, you ain't seen nothing yet. I think if you slow down the frame enough on the video that's coming up, you're going to be like... But think about it this way. All the stuff that's piled on top of the Trans Am right now, it's keeping it clean, right? Dust isn't settling on the car. It's settling on the stuff. $3,000 square foot garage that's full. Oh no. Yep. Tacos rule. Hanging with the pit bull and watching you. Oh, is that funny? Look at it. Alexa put that's my wife right there in the background. Right. Who needs a car cover when you got stuff to cover your car with? Like I said, Earl would probably lose his mind. I lose my mind. If I'm losing my mind in my own garage, which is not a real garage, I'm just waiting for like one nice day when my son can come over and give me a hand, like literally pulling everything out of my garage and reorganizing like it was last year. I had my garage organized last year, which was nice, but like literally, like I say, when winter time comes for me, so from like that fall throughout winter, my garage becomes not a garage, which is not a garage anyway. A construction dumpster, fill it up. Just rolls of toilet paper just covering over the whole car. Cloudy and 48 in Ohio River. Wow. Alexa, what's the weather today?
In Plymouth, it's 49 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly sunny skies.
49,
Today,
not too bad.
look for
Get my
lots
hat
of
off to that,
clouds
right?
With a high of 50
Woo.
degrees and a low of 31 degrees.
Actually, I should keep the hat like this. I can't throw anything out. Wife gets too mad when I get into clean mode. Yeah, my wife is definitely a way cleaner person than I am. I am so thankful that she is as industrious and clean. So even like I had still had like some car parts boxes like in this room right here, and she had actually taken them and put them away from me. Like, it's just what she does. And I know I annoy her. I'm sorry, honey. Still love you, and I know you love me. Guy just said, "Oh, sorry about that, man." Yeah, I do the same thing with the vectors. Like when I say it, it's a riot. You know, I think it's funny is when you have the television on, and there's a commercial for that device. How all of a sudden they all start answering, because we have a thermostat that's one of those devices. So it's it's a smart thermostat. I think it's made by a company called Ecobee, and it does that thing, which is crazy, right? My daughter and I, she's actually right here right now. My daughter and I have point blank stood here. We'll ask this one the question, and the one that's all the way in the other room will answer.
Well, you know what's funny?
What?
There's a YouTube channel that I watch.
Yeah.
And he has an Alexa.
Yeah.
And he uses it to like turn on the lights for like a joke.
Yeah.
But every time he does it, it sets off the two in my room, the thermostat. And,
Are you serious?
Yeah. Literally every time he says it.
Yeah, because she has two in her room too. She has like the thermostat one, and then she's got the one that's it looks like an alarm clock, but it has a screen on it, which is awesome. I love those ones. That's what I have in my shop. I forget what it's called. Echo. It's not the Spot. I don't even know. But it's the one that looks like an alarm clock. It's pretty cool. I like it. Irish coffee in the morning. RC enthusiast, what's going on, guy? Marcus, Kingtree RC Cars, Kingtree RC Cars. Holy smokes, that is a name. What's going on, guy? That is one heck of a name. But anyways, like I was saying, I don't know anything about, drag racing RC cars or whatever. I mean, I know a little bit about regular drag racing, not from, major experience, but my cousin's into drag racing. My mother was into drag racing. I've always loved going to New England Dragway. So my version of no prep drag racing, I'll have to actually look up what the particulars are of no prep, because I can't call it, I guess, no prep. I kind of have to call it my version of no prep. That's what I'll call it. But like I said, I had a blast. So my son and I, we were drag racing these little Redcat cars right here. These are the Redcat Tornadoes. He's got a Tornado that's in its stock buggy form, and mine just has the bug body on it. And it was such a blast. It really was. Like I mentioned to Earl on one of his YouTube videos, is like I wish like we were somehow closer so we could actually drag race, because that's what happens. Like, you get connections out here, and granted, like maybe other YouTubers like Kevin Talbot and Pat, because I think that they're so close to each other, and obviously they're best buds. They're able to like go out and just do stuff and have a blast like that. You know what I mean? One thing I'm kind of noticing about this is these dog bones. These dog bones are not clocked. I wonder if that's like some kind of issue. Almost seems like that seems like unless they twisted. Nah, they couldn't have twisted. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something I'm noticing. But yeah, where am I? So obviously, because of where this car is now, I'm gonna take stuff apart. I'm gonna end up taking the hubs apart. I'm gonna take out one of the bearings and do my little oil drip thing that I do inside, just to keep things nice and smooth, because the sound's a little dry. To me, that sounds like a dry bearing. So I'll pop these things apart. These are, I'm pretty sure, plastic hexes. Yeah, these are plastic hexes. But pop these things apart, put some oil inside the bearings. Most likely, let's check it out right now, actually. Most likely, these are just a shielded bearing, is what I'm assuming. So I just pry this little plastic hex off here. Yeah, they're just shielded. That's what I expected. So it'd probably be a good idea to go ahead and maintenance this thing just a little. Wait a minute. Is that? Wow, that bearing is massive. That's a bearing, right? Wow. That bearing's huge, huge and dirty. Look at that. Look at that junk that's in there. I think I should do some maintenance on this thing. If I want this to be like my version of a little no prep drag car. Look at that. Look how much junk was in there. That's you call that. That's liquid bearing, I'm assuming. So I think I'm going to clean these bearings out. And I'm going to lubricate them. I'm going to do that thing like I said. I'm going to put a drop of oil in between the inner bearing and the outer bearing, and that way things stay lubricated. I think it's time to start doing some maintenance on this thing that it has never had since I've owned it. And I have ripped this thing a bunch of times. Honey, could I have a couple paper towels, please? Thank you very much.
Oh, I was wondering when I was cold.
Do you want me to shut that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll shut it. I just opened it because I was getting hot. I'll close it. All right. So it's definitely a lot easier to take these bearings out because it's got a massive inner bearing, which that seems like it's actually a pretty good idea. So instead of having all the force on the smaller part of the shaft, it's actually putting some of that on the cup side, which seems like a great design. See you later, RC enthusiast. It was good having you, man, as always. Did I check to see if it was plastic with your teeth? Yes. Just like when you test a 9-volt battery. You test it with your tongue, right? Why, Trash Ninja? Is that a bad thing? Is it a bad thing to do? Wasn't that how people test diamonds? You test them with your teeth? I was testing to see if it was a diamond. Redcat's giving away diamonds. Yeah, so it looks like it was pretty grungy in there. Yeah, that was definitely grungy. I think this thing's going to be feeling a lot better. So there's the first bearing. I'll check and see how the bearing is. Bearing itself feels pretty good. Now, I'm going to pop that inner bearing out. And there should be... That's why I have these tools right here from Harbor Freight. It's a tiny little pick set. Came with a double 45. A double 45 pick, which I like this one because this one's nice to be able to pick bearings out. And that's why it's called a pick, so you can pick stuff. Not for picking your nose. This bearing should pop right out too, I hope. Getting there. Don't stab yourself. Well, that bearing is definitely in there. Slowly coming out. Feel the gap. It's getting there. I stabbed myself right on camera. Whoa. There we go. I can clean out that inside of that hub. Make it nice. Clean out that portion. Clean out this portion here. You pick your gold teeth with them. Clean out this bearing. Now, normally, like a bearing like this, because these are just a shielded bearing, I like to stick them in an oil bath, but I'm not gonna bother doing that this time. I'm just gonna do that little method that I do, but I just want to clear them out or clean them out for now. But I want to test the bearing itself to see if it's still in good condition. And it is. Wow, are you kidding me? All the ripping that I've done with this thing and the zero maintenance that this thing has got, these bearings feel perfect. And this was on one of the sides that was pretty hammered, so whatever bearings that they use, and they're not bad. Especially seeing that, you know, some of my Kaiju bearings were junk, and I've ripped this thing in the water, and I did no maintenance to these bearings when I've ripped this thing in the water. So that kind of shows that at least maybe Redcat did a good job sourcing the bearings for this particular unit. At least they did on mine. So we'll press that bearing back into place. I'll go get my assembly lube. All right, so I use that as an assembly lube. All it is just a pneumatic gun oil. I have found that it works perfect. And when I say assembly lube, so whenever I'm putting or doing anything with bearings, and this is my preferred method of doing it. I'm not telling anybody else to do it this way. So I won't recommend that you do it this way. This is just the way I do it. I'm going to pop that bearing out again. I'm going to put just the lightest drop, if I can, on the inside there. I'm going to let it roll around so it coats that entire surface on the inside. Now, when I push this bearing back into this knuckle, the steering knuckle, it's going to push some of the oil that way, which is what I want. So just like that. Now, it actually pushed oil into that channel that I was talking about that's in there. Now, in this one, I'll do the same exact thing, just a very light little drop of oil right inside the inner channel. And I'm going to let it run around that inside so it coats that whole surface. This is just the way I do it. You don't have to do it my way. This is not an instructional video. And then I'm going to seat that bearing into place. So now that bearing is seated completely or totally into its little pocket. Look at that, I'm even cleaning off the tools. Now there's oil, you can actually see it, at least I can see it. There's oil inside that little channel. Now you can take like a paper towel and maybe lightly wipe just the outer surface of the bearing so that you're not attracting as much, dirt, I guess, inside of there, because that's, a lot of times that's people's concern, was that once you start introducing oil, you're basically asking dust and stuff like that to attract to those areas. Then on the shaft, I'm going to put one little drop, just like that. You can see that whole shaft area is now glistening, glistening with oil. Now, remember to wear gloves when you do this stuff, so don't do what I'm doing. I'm using my finger and I'm just pushing the oil into place. Remember to always wear gloves. Don't get any of this junk on your hands. And then I'm going to slide that axle into place. Give it a couple spins. Does kind of sound a little crunchy, but I guess it's all right. Well, there we go. Right there. That's better. Put that pin into place. Again, this is a used and abused car. And I will run this thing until it's dead and then fix it again. Take your little hex. Everything's nice and lubed. Put your hex into place. And then there you go. I feel that is better serviced now than what it was, because at least now the bearing is going to have some type of lubrication now, where before that it didn't. And if you use WD-40 on your bearings, a lot of people feel like that's what you're supposed to do. And what WD-40 has a tendency to do is it has a tendency to wash out. It washes out grease. So like in areas where maybe grease or a heavier oil should be, the WD-40, because it's a penetrant, it actually washes out grease. So don't think that WD-40 is something that you're supposed to be using on bearings. It's really not. So even though I'm not using like a proper oil, which, I don't know, this does seem to work for me. So now that's all set. So now all we have to do is just have to rebend this dog bone here. They look like they are the same exact size dog bone. I can get my vise, and I'm going to clamp my vise onto this thing, and I'm going to see if I can bend that shaft back into straightness. So these are the tools that I'm gonna try to use. Got a body hammer, which I usually don't use my body hammers for stuff like this. But this is an older body hammer that I pretty much just use for just about everything. And then normally what I do is, if I'm banging sheet metal, I'll actually put a layer of tape over this anyway. But this surface right here, I could always dress that surface if I had to. But it isn't marring, so. Then this is that vise. Put that right onto here. Hopefully you can see what's going on here. What I'm going to attempt to do, I'm going to attempt to straighten this right on camera here. So it's got a nice flat surface right here. So one thing that we could always try is, first thing, we could take this dog bone and maybe stick it inside the vise to see if we can get it straight. So I'll loosen this and I'll turn it up so that hopefully it's in frame like that. I'll put it at its bend and I will slowly, actually I should probably go the other way. Go this way, like that. I'm just going to put the I'll put the dog bone just into the vise area here. And I'm just going to slowly clamp it until it gets to that point right there. And see if I can just straighten it out just a little bit. Like that. Now I can see that there actually is a very slight gap along that side. So while the bend, most of it was right there, this portion was straight. We do have a slight gap there and a slight gap here. So let's see, this metal should actually have memory from that bend. So as I undo it, you can see that the majority of that bend came out. See? See how the majority of the bend came out? So now what I want to do is put it in the vise this way. And I want to put the flat part right where that bend starts. Right like this. Clamp it down. Now you can see that this part, or pretty close to it. So basically from here to here is, without putting it on a straight edge, by eye looks fairly flat. So now what I want to do is I want to take this part of the dog bone and I want to bend it obviously that way. We're getting there. There is a slight now, another bend that's actually right here. So this was a compound bend. So now you can see right here, there's a slight little bend right there. So what I may do is I think I might put it in this way now. Tighten it down. The only thing that I can't tell is which way, like I think I can see that it's actually bent this way like that. So I'll rotate this down like that. Trying to keep it like in shot just to show you. Now what I want to do, I want to take something so I can grab this portion and give it kind of like a twist this way. Like, I don't even know if my fingers are in the way here, but I just want to now bend that portion out like that. by eye, it actually looks like I went a little bit too far on that one. And that's just by eye. You see, I'm kind of like, whoops. I'm kind of like trying to line it up so you can see what I'm talking about. That's why this hobby vise is great. I might have taken it a little bit too far, but let's check it out anyway. So, I'm trying to... That is pretty straight. Look at that. It actually looks like I didn't take it too far. So the other thing to do is called the roll test. Now on a dog bone, the roll test is kind of difficult because unless you have a surface that is going to go from this point to that point, that's the only time when like a roll test is difficult. So when you roll it on, say something like this, what you would be looking for is you'd be looking for light. Look at that, it's magnetic. You'd be looking for light in between any section of that length of dog bone or piece of metal that you're kind of trying to keep straight. So as long as this surface is straight, like you can check it with a real straight edge, as long as this surface is straight, you'll be able to see, and I don't think I can get this down enough. I'm going to try and get this camera down, so just bear with me for a second here. Because what I want to show you is right here. See how straight that is? See how you don't see? You can basically see the plane of this pretty much all the way, right? See how you can see the plane of it almost all the way? So when you roll the dog bone across, now I can't even see this. When you roll this dog bone across, you would be able to see light like underneath somehow. Do you know what I mean? Like somewhere, if this was still bowed, you'd be able to see light across that straight edge. Or you'd feel the wobble. So as I do this, I'm actually looking at the camera that is over there. I'm looking at the live stream. And it looks pretty good to me. Granted, I'm seeing it. You guys are probably seeing it better than I am. But I think that dog bone actually is pretty damn straight right there. I think that's pretty good. See what I'm saying? It looks good to me. So anyway, that's how you do it. You guys, like I keep saying, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. It's just maybe somebody out there doesn't know you can rebend stuff like that. Depending upon the type of metal is depending upon whether if it's going to take the rebend well enough. But also know once you bend the metal, you stressed it. So this dog bone now is not as strong potentially as it was in the beginning. But for my purposes, perfect. For my backyard repairs, for my redneck backyard repairs, this is absolutely perfect. Redneck backyard. And it's IHARD. Yard. Redneck repairs, baby. Can't use Bixby voice. I'm not asking to use Bixby voice. Superman, you know it, guy. So we'll take this Actually, I gotta straighten out the other one too, don't I? Anyways. So I'll just straighten this one like right here. Like as we're all here. Wicked pisser. Wicked pisser, super mint. So I'm just straightening this one as well. Over here. See? This one actually has it has more of a bend in it, so when I bend this one, I'm going to be bending this a couple of times, As I bring that dog bone in, I'm going to be moving it as I bend it in so I can take all of that bend out, because this one was pretty significant compared to the other one. Tighten this thing down. You just have to watch as you're doing it, because this bend was so huge, like on this one, because it was like from this point to that point, because it was so arced, I will have to watch how the bend is coming out, because as you bend it, say like part of the dog bone can start to bend the other way while it's still not rebending the part that you need or want. So we're getting there. It's getting closer. And this is the one that had the compound bend in it, I think. Yeah, so this one had a compound bend, I think. The other way to do it too would also be to smack it on a flat surface, but a lot of times what you'll get is you'll get a bounce back. So as you smack it on the metal, it's not going to take the bend out, because it's basically just going to slam. It's going to slam it, and the metal's going to flex. So this one I can see. This one had a few bends in it. So I'm going to actually switch over to this jaw, right on this side right here. And as I twist it, you can see there's still a bend. The bend is right here. Now I'm going to reverse it, put it right where the bend starts. And now I can take a hammer. Now I can take a hammer and I'm going to lightly tap this part. You know what's funny is I actually can't, because I'm trying to do this in camera, I actually can't see. Let's see how that looks. Still a little bit of a bend. The bend is more at the ball. So that's the tough one. So when you get the bend at the ball end, that's where it makes it tough. Looks like there's a little bit of a bend at that ball end there. It's close. Anyways, I won't bore you with all that stuff. I don't even think I was in frame. Darkside is here. What's going on, Darkside? Hey, you gotta go to Mickey D's for real. What? You're fine. Yeah. You can see there's a slight little bend right there that I want to get out. So what I will do is I'll put it in the open jaw and I'll give it a little wrap. It's got a little bit of a little arc right there, which I want to take out. So unfortunately, that is right at that. It's right at the pin. So I wonder if I rotate this. It's right there. Getting there, pretty close. There's a very small little bend right there. And the other side, still a slight little bend right here. Right where that wear mark is. So this is the side that definitely had a pretty good whack to it. Yeah, I can feel that. So we're going to tweak it right there. And that was it. That was literally it right there. So now that dog bone is pretty flat. I'll do it on the flat edge just to see. Straight edge, whatever you want to call it. Looks like there might still be a little bit of a bend here. Right there. So that's where I'm going to take the hammer. Apply some couple little love taps on there. That's pretty close, man. That's probably as good as I'm going to get that thing. To see how bent that one was, and I think to get it as straight as it is now, that's actually pretty good. I mean, look at that. That is pretty straight right there. This was the part that was the worst. And now you see that. That is pretty straight. See that? And then we'll go on this side. Mint. That's why I say mint. Nothing like the smell of COVID and coffee in the morning. Is that what you said? I can't see the comment. Nothing like smelling of morning coffee and RC. Yeah, my coffee's gone. It's all gone. Right now, with parts hard to get, that's the best way to get right. And it's not, well, we're not talking longevity either, though. You know what I mean? And you all know that. These dog bones are definitely now weaker than they were in the beginning, but at least I'm going to be able to run it. And as long as I don't run into another car or a brick wall, these should be all right. Hey, babe. All right. So we didn't even need to use that. Didn't even really need to use the hammers either, but I think we, tapped it one time or something. So that pin in there is literally, that's just pressed in. There's nothing holding that pin in. At least I don't see anything. You'd almost think there'd be like an E-clip or something, but I think that pin is just pressed into place. So in order to get something like that out, we'd have to press it out.
Do you want that pork stuff? I'm cooking something else up, but I didn't know if you wanted some of that. It's like leftover scallops and fish, but there's the
For dinner or lunch?
lunch. The other thing is the thing you had last night. You want that?
You know what I would like to have? Do we still have the chicken salad?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
In a sub bowl?
Yeah, that'd be mint. Thank you, honey. That would be mint. Right, hon?
Yeah.
It'd be mint. All right. So I don't think I'm going to go through the process of pressing that pin out because, yeah, let's just pry this little hub piece off. No, that is not a COVID cough she has. Is it the cough of the COVID?
You didn't even eat your pan.
Yeah, I know. It was there anyway. One of the dogs could probably eat it.
Yeah, I know.
So again, since I've owned this, I've not taken it apart, so bearings feel mint. The shaft itself is probably dirty. Right, good enough for right, yeah. Straighten, fit, bash, bend, repeat. Right, exactly. Forever back on back order, right? Yeah. Sometimes it is the best thing to do is just, you know, I mean, you can. You have to know it's just not going to be as strong as original. That's all. I do want to get at this, though. I don't feel like I can properly service this bearing or this hub without pressing that stupid thing out. So I think I'm going to try to give a couple of light taps just to see if I can press that bearing out this way. Honey, would you actually be able to help me for a second? Can you take this hammer and just lightly tap on that? Good. Keep going. Keep going. Tap harder. More. Keep going. All right, it's not coming out. So the way that thing is pressed in there, I literally have to press it out.
Samantha, can you let the dogs out?
I don't think there's a set screw. Oh, you know what? That's what that's for. There's a set screw under here, isn't there? That's got to be what that's for. Whoops. There's got to be a set screw in there. Do I even have the right size to get that out? That's what it is. Oh, yes. There we go. So that is what it is. There was a set screw underneath there. Now it'll pop out. That wasn't making any sense. Oh, I should have known that's what that was. Now it'll pop out. Look at that, huh? That's what that was for. There we go. That makes more sense that way. Look at that thing. Good thing I just didn't like slam it. Oh, that sandwich looks amazing. Thank you. Do we have any chips? Ta-da! I know, right? Ta-da! Oh, no. And also, I just noticed a shim popped out of somewhere. Oh, where'd that shim come out of? That shim come out of this hub? Where the heck did that come from? There's a shim. It came out of something. Definitely wasn't that one. You see that, though, right? Looks like a shim. No, it's not a shim. It's some kind of piece of rubber. What the heck did that come off of? It obviously had to come off of the front. It's not an O-ring, it's flat. And it was towards the front, so you know what? Maybe it has something to do with the steering of the front there. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. We'll have to see where that little piece of rubber came from. But there we go. Yeah, so there's a set screw that holds your pin in. Yeah, I knew that. Oh my gosh. Then we can go ahead and press that bearing out. Nice and easy. Press that one out. We already know that this one's kind of a pain in the neck. I think I'll try to... I gotta actually use that 45 pick to get in there. Where that pick is. Get that pick in there. Weasel it in. So I can pry the edge of the bearing out. Go to the opposite side. Do the same thing. Pry it out. And I use my screwdriver. Pry it. Pry it. This one should get it out right here. Nope. Not yet. Close. It's almost there. Thank you, honey. It's almost there. There we go. This side actually appears cleaner. Your wife would tell you to go fix it on your own. That's funny. That's no good. What do they say? A couple that plays together stays together. I think isn't that a saying? You get allergic to what? Your luck would be you'd get allergic to stoves and ovens. That'd be terrible. Yeah, this side's actually cleaner. Probably because it's the rear and it's getting less of the junk from the front. I think I already cleared or cleaned. What did I do with the where'd the hub go? Oh. There we go. Clean up these bearings a little bit. Hey, barbecue, just remember that language does not pass by. So just go easy. I know you're probably all aggravated, but that's one of those key words that gets blocked. You can always just say a jerk instead of saying that, you know. But anyways, so like I was saying, the way I do it, little drop, roll it around, reinstall my bearing, it'll push it through, give it a little wipe, do the same thing on this side, little drop of oil, oops, that was like 6 drops of oil, roll it around on the inside, pop the bearing into place, set the bearing into the carrier, evenly, you hope. Bam, click, hear it. So now we know that that's all the way down. Wipe off your excess, preferably not with a dirty paper towel. There we go. That looks maybe 5 times better than it did. Little drip of oil on here. Do not use your fingers to push the oil around. Make sure you wear gloves. Reinstall it back into the hub and into the bearings. Roll it around, and that feels mint. Reinstall your pin. Reinstall my little hex piece here, plastic hex. Just like that. There you go, mint. All fixed. Will, what's going on, guy? A family that prays together, stays together, plays together. Plays. Yeah, prays together too. Same thing. But check that out. Look at that. Got a, she even opened the pickle jar. So we got pickles, nice looking sandwich, bag of chips. It's almost time to eat. Are you taking that RC for rip? No, this was the aftermath from the video that I've got to put together today about it. This was a my version of a no prep drag between my son and I. We have the same vehicles, but in my video it proves that someone that maybe has, how do I explain it? I'm not even going to say I have more skill because I don't. My car had more power, more weight, so the intent was to show that sometimes does not make a difference. Because just because you have more power doesn't mean you're going to win the race. And you will point blank see that wasn't the case. I didn't even tell him that I was running 3S. He was running 2S. And he beat me, and you'll see exactly why. And yeah, it proves a point. Just because you've got more power doesn't mean you're going to win the race. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. My hat looks stupid right now. So anyways, I think we're there. I don't know where this came from. This tiny little rubber piece. I don't know if this came from the front end or what. I suppose if I take apart the rear end, maybe I'll figure out where that piece came from. But it's definitely not the rear hub because there isn't enough space. And I didn't realize that hole, I should have realized that hole had a set screw in it. It only makes sense. So I'll put this in, slide this pin back into place. You know, maybe I'll do the right thing. I'll put just a dab of oil just like that inside the hole. Wipe off the excess. I can go ahead and reset that set screw. And I can take the dog bones, and they're the same dog bone. And I think this was the one for the rear. Put that back into place. Slide it back onto the hub. Put our little, technically kind of like upper arm on. Snap that into place without breaking it. That's where this maybe will come into play. Just don't snap this arm. So there we go. So now that way better than what it was before. Yeah, that's mint. Considering what that thing was before, that is pretty damn good. I like that. And we'll come after the front. The only thing, like I said, I may have to take apart the front to figure out where this tiny little rubber, it's like, it's not an O-ring. It's like a flat washer, but it's rubber. I am not sure where this came from. See that thing? I don't know where this came from. It's obviously, I'm assuming, sealing something. And it was near the front end, so I just don't know. I don't know where it came from. I guess I'll just have to, like, I guess, investigate this side to see if I can... Because I don't think it came from... Because you know how sometimes they'll have, like, a little piece of something inside pushed up against the dog bone. I don't think that's where it came from. You know how they have, like, something inside the cup to stop the chatter from the dog bone? I think that's what this is. Then again, maybe I'm wrong. Could Redcat literally have done that? That side's got a little bit of movement. Front side has a little... You know what? I'm almost thinking that might be what it's from. Because when I move this dog bone, this dog bone right here appears to have a lot more slop in it than the other side. See what I'm saying? Like, see how you can hear it? It's got a definite click. That one's a lot smaller. So wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be funny if that is literally what Redcat did? They stuck inside those cups. They put this tiny little thing to stop the dog bones from chattering. That is a possibility, right? Anybody? Anyone? Bueller? I think that might be what that is. I don't see where that would go other than if for some strange reason it went on the front thing here. But even that doesn't fit right. That literally might be for the dog bone. I don't know. You never seen that? On the Habao vehicles, and actually on, I think on the Redcat Kaiju. So on the Habao vehicles, right? They actually do have these little, and they're usually for the drive shafts though. And I think on the Red, I've had so many vehicles apart. That's where sometimes the memory doesn't work anymore, because like so many people ask me like so many like things like, oh, what diff fluid is in, did you switch over to this, and what did that have in it? It's like, I've had like 20 vehicles apart. I actually don't remember. And I used to have this master book where once I would change something, I would write it down, but I haven't been doing that lately. Maybe I should get back into it because obviously my memory is getting blown. But on Habao vehicles, and I think the Redcat Kaiju, on one side of the drive shaft, I do believe, pretty sure on the MT, on the Hyper MT Sport Plus 2, they have just a little O-ring or piece of tubing that's at the end that obviously allows for movement. And I think on a variable like articulation, what it does is it allows a little bit of compression. So, and it stops dog bones in particular from chattering, because obviously this is, slipping, very quickly back and forth, inside and out. It's never solid, So that's like why one end will be a CVD that they call it, or a CV joint. Well, that joint isn't moving. It's the inside, it's technically still the inside other half of the dog bone that's still inside moving. So maybe on that situation you wouldn't, but I think on a double dog bone situation, you use these just to stop that chattering sound that you get. And it's enough so that it compresses. And usually it'd be like more than one, but I'll have to check the other side to see if somehow maybe that's what it is.
Samantha.
I suppose it could have fallen out of the front cup. So inside on the front cup, there's the possibility that it came actually out of there. Because this was towards the front where this was. So I'd obviously have to take the other side apart to see if that's where it came from, which most likely it is. I mean, when you look at the size of it, it's probably about the size that you would need inside. And I just lost it. There it is. You know what I'm saying? Steve O.D., what's going on, man? On my son's, obviously, like I said, you're going to see it in the video, but on my son's Redcat, probably from the impacts from running with Dad, his lower screw actually popped out, and what's crazy is it stayed in place. So the whole hub just kind of like flopped out of position, but the screw stayed in place because the threads got ripped out. So what I'll probably do is, even though, yes, it's plastic, I'm going to drip a drop of thread lock into these holes just so that I don't have the issue, and maybe it will kind of keep these screws from tearing out the way they did. But on my hub, it's fine, or my steering knuckle, whatever you want to call it. You call it a steering knuckle, you call it a hub, it's the same damn thing. It's just one of them steers and the other one's static. It doesn't move. Oh yeah, I have a few kids. I'm an old guy. I think I'm older. I think I'm older than Earl. At least I feel like I'm pretty positive I'm older than Earl. I don't know. I've never asked him how old he was, but I think I am older. Pickles. Yeah. Those are Clausen kosher dills, I think, right? Yeah. Clausen kosher dill pickles. And check out this sandwich, man. Holy moly. Good stuff. I really wish I knew what this piece was from. I don't know. I have no idea where that came from. Should be doing is keeping my area clean here. I do suspect it's probably part of that front end. I'd almost have to like rewatch this live to see if I can see somehow when that piece came out. Because I don't get what that little piece could be, other than it's for stopping the chattering of dog bones. Yeah, I know. You're fine. You'll live. All right. Now, I thought my wing was mangled. Oh, it is. Oh, I lost a screw in my wing. I guess I should have thread locked it. Oh yeah, I missed. Yeah, my whole wing and everything is loose. I did not thread lock my wing. Obvious. I lost a screw. And that's actually a machine screw too. Wow. Crazy. All right. I'm not going to put together this front end yet. I got to see where that piece came from. All right. So let's see. That's from there. Front end. Get that out of here. Now take apart this front end here. Let's see what we got going on here. Whoop, wrong one. 7 box, right? Yeah. Here you go, eat some leftover pizza. Right. Now this wheel suffered no damage because, well, this is the right side of my vehicle where I didn't have any impacts. So this wheel's mint. I am going to take this apart only because I do want to get to those bearings, just to see how these bearings were or are. So Phillips on the top. Phillips on the bottom. Now I'm hoping I'm going to see one of those little things there once I pull this out. This dog bone is laser straight. And when I look inside of the cup, okay, right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to look inside the cup here. I'm going to take my pick. I should take my 45. So I got this 45 pick. I'm getting sand on my, I'm getting sand on my pickles. And I'm going to see if I can pick inside of this cup. There it is. Oh, where'd it go? So that's where it came from. There it is. So on the front side, I was right. So on the front side, to stop the chatter of the dog bones, check it out. That's where it came from. Boom. So, and it's on the inner cup to the diff. So that's a good thing. That's where that came from. Good. Good to know, right? Good to know. So now I can pop this off. Man, they make these balls just so hard to come off. That's why I took the nut off of the other one. So that was, that's kind of funny that Redcat goes that far. Like, and this is an older Redcat vehicle too, so that's, I feel like that's pretty cool that they did that. You know? Nice. Now it's not on the inner hub, I don't think. Or is it? Let's see. We'll get the pick in there and see if they have one on the inside too. Nope. So it's just on, it's not on the outer. It's not on the one that's for the wheel. They just have them on the diff side. So pretty cool. Kind of thought that's what it was, but you know, I don't know. Never know. Feels good to be right, though. This one's dirty on the inside as well. Clean this one off. Oh! I didn't realize I did that. Oh, no! I'm literally looking at the comments. Check it out. Oh my God, I didn't even see it. Look at my pickle has now a tread pattern on it. Look at this dirt on there. Speckles of dirt on my pickle. Look at the mud that's in there. Oh no. You know what though? I'm gonna eat it anyway. Check it out. My pickles got literally, yeah. You don't believe me? And I literally just saw it. I just saw it in the comment. There you go. Look at tread pattern, pickle. Tread pattern, pickle. Oh my God. Oh, see, that's where it's great to maybe check the comments. I forget who it was. I think it was Shadow Ops. So I was working on one of the RC cars, right? And he literally, it was alive. He literally went back in the footage and said, "Hey, I think your elbow knocked the set screw off of the table onto the floor." Now, downstairs in my shop, it's a rug. So if anything hits the floor, you don't hear it. So it was cool that one of the guys was like, he literally just went back in the footage because it was alive, because you can. And he was just like, I think your elbow pushed off on the floor, and literally like 6 or 8 feet or whatever it was. I think it was 6 feet behind me. There was the set screw. I was losing my mind. I couldn't find it. So one of the people that was on here, and then I just saw the comment, nice tire pickle. Is that what you said? I forget what you said. What'd you say? Pickle, pickle tires. And I'm like, what? See, this is awesome. You know what I mean? This is a good time. Come on over for COVID, pickle tires, and coffee. Pickle tires. That was awesome. Pickle tires. Oh my God. I'm telling you. Through all this garbage that's happening. I mean, look at, I'm laughing so much, my eyes are tearing. That it is definitely fun to, have something that you can laugh at. And dude, I'm telling you right now, pickle tires, that was awesome. Oh my God, pickle tires, pickle tires. Oh my God. Nah, you got to just keep going, man. I got to keep going. I want to get this done. That way everybody can still hang out. I'm not going to eat on camera. That's gross. But pickle tires, that was awesome. Pickle tires, it's what's for lunch. That was good, man. That was a good catch. That was a total good catch. I'm glad I saw that. Oh my God. I'm literally going to be using that in my stream now. Pickle tires. My God. That was awesome. I laugh very easily. But that was perfect. I look at the thing and I'm like, what do you mean pickle tires? And I could literally see it on the screen that my tire was fully in the pickle. Still working on your tacos? Oh my goodness. Yeah, there we go. Got some junk on that side. But this is from lack of maintenance. I never... STL Scion, what's going on, guy? Wait a minute. Is that because you actually own what are those cars? Are they called Scions? That must be why your name is Scion, right? Don't they have a car that's called a Scion? I think they do. Maybe that's why your name is Scion. I never put that together. Kind of servos you got in them tacos? Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna pop that inner bearing out. Just use my long nose, needle nose pliers and just stick it right in there and just pop it out nice and easy, just like that. It does not work the same way. That's where this nice 45 pick comes in. You can get in there and just carefully bring it around and just pop the bearing out until you get a flat blade screwdriver in there. Like I think I'm there right now. Get a nice flat blade, make sure it's nice and clean, and then just go from side to side just to pick out the bearing. Right there. Gotta be careful. You don't want to screw these races up. There we go. Clean off the inside of this one. Pickle tires. Oh my gosh. That was awesome. Pickle tires. Like, what the heck is he talking? Pickle tires. Oh God. The pickle's in the tire. Well, the tire's in the pickle. Now go ahead and just clean the rest of this hub here. Same thing on this side. Drop of oil. Let it coat all the way around. Take your bearing, pop it in, make sure you're wearing gloves. Yada yada. The whole thing. Same thing on this side. Drop of oil, 1 drop. Roll it around. Pop your bearing in. Try to put it in straight and flat, like that. Get a new paper towel here. Get some new silver. Paper towels are silver now, right? I think that's what Earl was saying. Toilet paper are gold bars and paper towels are silver now. So I hear Earl's been trading gold bars and silver for RC stuff. So if you guys have any gold and silver bars, meaning toilet paper or paper towel, Earl is trading. Now make sure when you put oil in there, do not use your fingers to coat stuff. Not a good idea. Use gloves. Oh, did I put that drop of oil in there? I didn't put the drop of oil in there because I'm not paying attention. Now I'll go ahead and shove that in there. Cool. I'll wipe off the excess that's on the outside. It's that I have a bad habit of do as I say, not as I do. I know it's bad. Much better. Grab your pin. We'll reinstall our pin here. My eyes are getting terrible. Reinstall the pin. And we'll reinstall our hex. Perfect. Mint. I know. Use gloves coming from the guy. I know. I do use gloves. But I'd rather, at least if I don't have them on hand, at least I'll say it. Don't gas wash your hands, because that's something people don't know. I used to use gas to wash my hands because I thought, wow, it really takes the stuff off your hands really quick. Makes your hands feel nice and cool. Don't use gas to wash your hands. It's not a good idea. So you can see all that debris and junk that we got right there. You probably can't see it on camera as well as I can, but all that came out of that, I mean, look at this. All this came out of this hub area, So now we're good. And now we know where this little piece came from, that it did come from the inner cup on the front diff. So that's cool. I'm going to take a bite of sandwich off camera. Good stuff. All right. So this one's all set. This dog bone we already knew was mint. No issues with this one because this is obviously the right side of my car. All the damage was on the left side because of all the impacts from drag racing. My form of drag racing. So I'm gonna install the dog bone. I gotta put that little piece in there. So I'm literally just gonna tip it up, and I'm gonna How am I going to get that in there? Use my straight pick, maybe? Use my straight pick to kind of just put the piece on the end there. And then it's not even on camera. Nice! Guy, can't see nothing. I'm going to take it and stick it right in the thing there. I can't even see here. Put that down and in. Hopefully that's in there. I can't even see it. I think I need a light. Hey, look at that. Went in there perfect. So the little O-ring is actually inside on the diff cup. So now I can take my dog bone, shove it in, take my hub, reinstall that this way, line up the dog bone, drop it in place. We'll get the top screw. Top screw is the one that has that little shoulder. Get our Phillips screwdriver here. Screw that down. Like that. Get to the other side. Get the other screw. Nice and free. Now we can, let's say that I rotate that out. It's rotated this way. Throw that piece in there. Put our little screw back in place, a little nylock. Now this was one of the nylocks that I was saying that I am going to put thread lock on because it the nylock ability of it is pretty much gone. So I put a little drop right on there, just like that. Reinstall it. I think that's it. Wipe off the excess, just like that. See? Blue. Now, because we've already got this side up, I'm not going to install the wheel yet. I want to put together the other side, because now that I know where that piece came from, that it was in fact the little O-ring that stops the dog's bones from chattering. Put it on our little pick. We'll drop it inside the cup very carefully. Yeah, right. We'll drop it inside the cup. And I'm going to use the light on my flashlight, the light on my phone to see if that went into place. And that one didn't. So that needs to just be moved so it settles down. Close. There we go. Perfect. Shut my light off. Take our straightened dog bone, which turned out pretty good. Stab it through the C-hub, down into the diff cup. Then we can take our hub, make sure we're facing the right direction. Line up the dog bone to that piece. Make sure we're locked in. Tip this down. We'll get our top screw, which had the shoulder on it. We'll line it up so it actually drops into the hole. And this does have bushings, obviously, in the upper and lower portion of that C-hub, in case you're wondering. Flip it upside down. Grab that lower screw, Phillips. Toss that in. Tighten that one down. Just like that. We'll reconnect our link arm underneath. Just push this through. Get our little tiny nylock that we've got here. Again, same thing. I'm going to put a little drop of Loctite on there. I can thread it on. Anybody else have this issue? These damn things are just so small that lining it up onto the threads, man, it's just tough. There we go. Got blue thread lock all over me now. Put that down there. Grab our needle nose pliers so we can grab the ball. Tighten it down, nice and easy. There we go. Front is all set. The rear is pretty much all set now. All we have to do is just take apart the right side, which it's got a little bit of wobble in there. Might have to check that out. I don't know. Might see if it needs a shim or see what's going on there, but I think, what do you think, guys? Think we should wrap this up? Michael Montgomery, what's going on, guy? Let's see what we got here. I'm just going to, you put thread lock on your sandwiches, give it a nice layer. Just get my hat on, so you have to look at my head. Oh. How old am I? I don't know. I was born in 71. So I'm old. For grease and oil, Gojo. Oh, yeah. Fast R. I know what you're talking about. Not gas. How can you tell somebody where to climb? Just because. I think I'm all caught up on the comments here. I wonder if you can still get that $6 bundle. Hand cleaner, paper towels. The TP hoarders even got those. Let's see. Put thread lock. I think I'm all like caught up. It's actually pretty good. You just what? I just cross-threaded everything that way. Yeah, there you go. Just cross-thread it all, man. Whoops. Born in 81. Yeah. Born in 1970. I don't, like I said, I think I'm older than Earl. 1970, right. Yeah. Well, it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? It's like you're literally my grandfather. I'll give you a story. Um, my grandfather was pretty much my dad growing up. I didn't have a father growing up. Just it is what it is. It's the way it worked out. So, anyways, so my grandfather was basically I basically was his son in a sense, because he didn't have a son. He only had 2 daughters. So I was the only grandson, I guess, on that. On his side of the family, so I kind of became his son. And we were outside. We were out back, and I think he was either 63 or 65 or 67. 67 years old, that's what it was. He was 67 years old, and we were out back in his property. We were cutting trees down, right? Now, he cut down, I mean, this tree had to have been, I don't know, like 10, 12, 14 inches round. Cut it down, and he cut a good length of it. May have been like, and granted, you got to remember, I was a kid. It had to have been like 8 or 10 feet long, like how he cut, the trunk piece. And he put that thing on his shoulder, and he walked it all the way from the backwoods, which was up a hill, like to our yard or his yard. Dropped the log down. We went inside to have lunch, and he looks at me. He used to call me Timmy, and he goes, Timmy. He goes, I don't understand age. I'm sick. He was either 65 or 67. I got whatever it was. It was around that age, and I'll just say, like, let's just say he said he was 65. I'm 65 years old. I don't know what 65 is supposed to feel like. At that point in time in his life, he said that he felt like he was in his like young 30s, like young to mid 30s, because it's that thing where I guess in some respects you feel as old. I mean, you are as old as you feel, I guess, right? So because he didn't know what 65 was supposed to feel like, he felt like he was in his 30s. And I feel the same way. I'm almost 50 years old, so I'm almost dead. So, I mean, I've already lived half of my life, like more than half of my life, and I don't know what 49 or 50 is supposed to feel like. I feel as young, I guess, as I don't know. You feel as young as you feel, depending upon maybe what you did the day prior. Now, yeah, if I was to go outside right now and cut down a bunch of trees, chop everything up, and then, go to bed that night and wake up the next morning, yeah, I'm gonna be stiff. That's probably just in general. Yeah, if you're 19 years old, you don't feel nothing. But yeah, you only feel, and then maybe on those days where you maybe like twisted something like stupidly the wrong way and you don't think about it and you feel the pain later. Those are probably the only times that I guess I'll feel my age or whatever it is. And I think my attitude is more along that, I don't know, younger kind of attitude, I guess. My kids, like my daughter, she still is like, she thinks like, she's 20, but even her, looking at me or whatever, I mean, granted, I get gray in the beard and the whole everything, but she says that, when she looks at me, she doesn't think of anything, older than 30. So, and it's funny that like that. But anyways, I think this is where we're going to end this live stream from COVID and Coffee morning check-in. Like I always say, thank you to everybody that came. I hope you guys are enjoying this. This is something I'm going to keep going for, I guess, as long as the COVID is here. And then I've got to figure out if I want to continue this, which I probably will. I'll figure it out somehow. What I'll have to call it, modifying it. Now, somebody on here had came up with a pretty good idea, but because of the way chat works, all the chat that's in here, I didn't realize it doesn't stay. So when I end this, if I close down the whole app, all this chat disappears. I didn't realize that. So I may have to figure out what else to call this after, this is all done. You know what I mean? So I don't know. All right. So like I said, hope you guys enjoyed this 8th episode of COVID and Coffee from RCI Garage. Morning check-in. Today we worked on my Redcat Racing Tornado, which I have kind of turned into my fake version of a no prep drag car, I guess. I'm going to eat lunch and continue with the rest of my day. Hopefully hang out with my wife a little bit. As she laughs. But anyways, let's see who's here. Still got 18 people here. We got Chuck Hall, Amped RC, Michael Montgomery, Unique RC. What's going on, man? Didn't notice that you were here. Sorry about that. Who else we got? I already say Mike George. Riff Raff is here. Chuck Hall. Probably saying all these names twice. STL Scion. Hey, STL, did you ever... I don't know if you ever answered that. Is your name STL Scion because you have a Scion? I was just curious. Jury VRC is here. And I think that's about it. Hurry up. Come on. STL Scion. Is it because you have a Scion? Guy. Quick. Quick. With the fingers there. Because I don't think I can go back. Right. Riff Raff, you're 57. You feel like you're in your 30s, right? Oh, but your body is another story. Yeah, that happens. Amped RC is saying yes, but what is Amped saying yes to? That STL Scion is because he has a Scion? STL, you've been in pain for 15 years. That's no good, man. All right. Yes, he has a Scion. All right. Thank you, Amped. I kind of figured that that's what it was, but, you never know. But yeah, that's it. So like I said, if you enjoyed these episodes of COVID and Coffee Morning Check-In, you already know what to do. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Eventually, maybe I'll stop saying that, but sometimes you need a reminder. Give a thumbs up on this. It point blank tells YouTube that this is like content that's worth watching, I guess. And hopefully it's content worth watching. I mean, with 18 or now it's 14 people in here. Yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. I know I do. I'm having a good time. It's like a hangout. Like I've explained before, what's cool about this is all of you guys get to come over my house, but my refrigerator doesn't get raided. So it's like a double thumbs up. Not that I wouldn't like share stuff, but it's definitely a benefit. All you guys can hang out and I still have my food. So like I said, thank you guys for coming. Be good to each other. Help each other out. If you know somebody that needs some help, don't be afraid of giving of your time. Maintain for now that, social distance stuff. That's obviously it's real. So that's why I'm calling this COVID and Coffee. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I got to go on the back side of the camera. So like I usually say, I am out. So why don't you guys get out there and do the same thing? Just get out there and rip it. All right. I'll just leave it right here. We're going to end this. Do I want to end the streaming? Yes, I do. Everybody that came, thank you for coming. I'm still getting tongue-tied here. Thank you for coming, and just get out there and rip. We'll see you later.